Please forgive any noises that you hear in this video because the kids are downstairs playing. Hi guys, it's Sophie, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going through a list of baby names I love but won't be using. And if you have watched my previous video or you follow me on Instagram, then you'll know what I'm having. But if you haven't watched it, then I'll link it in the cards and I'll link it down below. So if you want to look back at the last video that I did, then go and watch that and then come back to this one. But for those of you who already know or aren't too fussed about that, then I am having a boy. So the names I'm going through, I'm going to have 10 boys' names that I love but won't be using, and I'll tell you each reason why. Before we get started, I am exactly 30 weeks today, and this is my baby bump. Okay, so some of these have the same reason as to why I'm not going to use them. So the first one is Oscar. I loved the name Oscar, but it's so popular and I don't want my child to have like a really popular name, because I've had other people with the same name, like take Chloe for instance. When I was growing up there were a lot of Chloes, and you probably had about 3 or 4 Chloes in a class. Growing up as Sophie, we didn't really have that many Sophies. I didn't have another Sophie in my class until I was in year 9, but it seems that as an adult there are a lot of Sophies in the world, so I don't know how I surpassed that. Okay, so the next name is Jacob slash Jake. I love the name Jake, but Jake was quite popular as well, and I feel like if I was going to call my child Jake, that it would have to be like the longer version of the name. So instead of Jake, it would have to be Jacob, but Jacob's quite popular and I'm not a big fan of Jacob, so I'm not using that one. The next name is Evan. I really liked Evan. I like the whole American style names. I'm not a big fan of English names if I'm honest, but when it comes to like traditional names and things like that, I feel like when it's like a more American traditional, then that's the sort of things I like. I did originally like Evan, and then I just went off it. You know, when you're thinking, okay, I like this name, and then it just clicks in your head thinking, no, and you just go off it. That's what it was with Evan. I still like the name though. The next name is Benjamin. Once again, Benjamin is really popular, and it's also my nephew's middle name, so I didn't really want to use it like that because it's not like a tradition in my family. I know in quite a few families it's a thing that you use the same middle name for the kids and then pass it on for their kid's first name, but it's not like that in my family, and I thought no, because it kind of seems like name sharing and I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, so the next name is Russell, and there's a lot of meaning behind this one. Originally I was going to name my son after my dad. And my dad's name is Howard, so it would be Russell Howard. See where I'm going with this? And I didn't want people to think I was naming my son after Russell Howard. If you don't know who Russell Howard is, he's an English comedian, and I don't want people thinking that I named my child after Russell Howard, because that is not what it was. But I have since changed my mind, and I'm not naming my son after my dad. Like, my dad and I are really close, and he died 2 years ago. But I decided against that because he has my surname and I have the same surname as my dad, so I feel like if I full named my son, then I would be shouting Howard Rawsthorne all the time, and I don't want that because it just knocks me sick, because it sounds like I'm trying to replace him, which I'm not. So no. But because I like Russell and there's no other names associated with it, I have already picked my son's name. I've had his name picked since I was about 16 weeks. So if I were to have another son in the future, then there is a possibility that I might call him Russell. Next name I love is Tobias. I love the name Tobias because I like Toby, and my reasoning behind this one is because my nephew's called Thomas, and having another T, it would just confuse me, especially with the same sort of syllables. So no. The next one is Hugo, and I liked Hugo a lot. I kind of just, it was up there with my list of names that I wanted, because I had a large list of names that I liked, and I was putting like stars against the ones that I liked the most, and then going back to them a few days later and getting rid of the ones that I didn't like, and then going back a few days later after that and doing the same thing until I found which one I definitely wanted. But I went back to the first name that I liked anyway, because I tend to do that. The next one is Arlo. I really liked Arlo. I thought it was adorable, and I liked it up until I went to the park with the boys, and a woman came out and she shouted Arlo really loud to her son, and I was thinking, no, no. So it just stopped in my head, and then I was thinking as well that because my voice changes, that this isn't my actual accent. I change my accent a lot depending on who I'm talking to, how I'm pronouncing myself. Then it will come across really strange if I just went oi, Arlo, because that's my actual voice. So no. The next name is Charlie. I love the name Charlie, but once again with like Jacob, it's the same sort of thing, because I feel like if I called him Charlie, then he would need like a longer name. It'd have to be Charles or something like that, and I didn't really like the idea of that. So no. And the last name is Harry. I really like the name Harry, and I swear every single name that I liked was really popular, but the one that I picked for him isn't currently popular. So just wait a few weeks until he's born and it will be really popular, just to annoy me. So yeah, I really liked Harry because I thought it was really cute, and then they named one of their elephant toys, like named one of their elephant toys Harry, so that did not go down well. But it's okay because he's got his name, and I'm happy with his name, and he responds to his name. So yeah. But I feel like now I'm at that point in my pregnancy that I've got a really weird like nesting instinct going on. I was up until like 1 o'clock this morning, like just tidying for no reason, tidying, organising, getting rid of stuff. I put his Moses basket up yesterday, and I've packed my hospital bag completely. I've had it packed since I was about 14 weeks, but I keep going back to it and repacking it, and now it has extra stuff in it, like his nappies, his wipes, milk, his clothing, and that sort of thing. So I'm really getting ready for him to be born. And if you guys would like a video for the hospital bag, like what's in my hospital bag, then do tell me down below and I will film that for one of my upcoming videos. And if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up, it really help me out. And if you aren't already and you'd like to be, hit that big red button down below, subscribe, become a favorite member of our family. If you'd like to follow my social media, as always, links down below. You're ready. Bye guys.